Mm-hmm.
That was rough. Um, all right, and are you good?
Yeah, I just got home, so I will go back in the house.
All right, we once I put the little logo up, we'll start. I'll wait for you to get in. Once you turn your camera on, we'll start. Yeah, if you need, I'm gonna give you this, Rona. This has got the character names on it.
I already wrote down some of them.
And
All right.
that's rough. That's rough.
Let's do it.
Alrighty then. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another review for Dune Prophecy Episode 2. First season. I don't know if this is going to go anything past this season, but
It
oh my
should.
gosh.
It
This
should.
show is crazy. This show is, it's, it found a way from coming off the first episode to ramp it up into a whole nother stratosphere of a lot of lies, complications, but very flawed, but great character progression. I'm gonna hand this over to Ronan, wherever he is, over this way, and we're gonna go ahead and get this started, guys. Episode 2.
It is a fantastic follow up to that first one, and I've always heard the thing of like, oh, okay, it's a good pilot, but second episode is it going to keep you interested? Is it going to hook you more or no? And it's just like there are so many threads of stuff I can't even tell you because I don't want to spoil stuff. But like you say, there's a lot of threads going on, and you're like, wait, what? And it's such a it's good where you trying to keep up with it and you're not bored and you're like, okay, I'm having fun and a blast with the show that I need to like start doing. And I said it, start doing graphics of like, okay, so and so is with it, so and so, and then they're doing the thing, and then they're doing the thing, and now it's everybody doing the thing, and it is, mwah, so good, man. And you you barely know these characters 10,000 years before these two new films, and you sympathize for a couple of these characters already by episode 2. And you barely even don't know their names, and you're like, damn, I feel bad for the circumstances that they're on. Um, I think the word after this episode was damn. That's the word after this episode, which damn, so good.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out. Unfortunately, and this is a spoiler review, so you guys should have already seen the episode. Hopefully,
Okay,
you seen the episode. Shout out to Chloe Leah that played the role of Lila. She lit it up. I think the third act of her kind of going into the descent of meeting, you know, all the other fallen sisters, and like even like breaking down the psychology of what it takes to actually get through it is insane. But her acting and the understanding of her lineage, like all of that, she was great. And so I mean, unfortunately, she did not make it. Lila was not the character that made it through, and I think it's a good starting point. Like it was all out of spite from her own relative slash mother, um, against the Harkonnens because of what happened. And like she literally drove this girl to madness and killed her.
Got some vengeful spirit stuff for you. That's
That's some sick stuff. Like it's one thing. Like imagine like your
Hereditary.
distant relative, right? It's just all like, yeah, no. The people that you've been working with or working, like they've been protecting you, they've been hiding this from you. But you know what? I want to spite them by killing you, even though you're from my blood. That's some evil stuff.
That's some
Yeah.
Godfather stuff, dude. That's some Godfather stuff right there.
And where she was earlier in the episode going, you think it's really true? We'll see our relatives. Will we pass? It's like, careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for.
Boom, boom.
As soon as you said that line, I was like, "Oh yeah, you ain't gonna make it." and and what I love about this though is that these things are explained in the book, but there's so much. You would just be exposition dumps in a movie. There's no time in a movie for less like this to breathe without stopping the movie. And they're doing such a great job of putting these dense details into the show, which enhances what you've seen in the movie if you didn't read the books. And I love that about this show.
Yeah, because when they even describe like the transmutation will have to take, like, in order for you to not die from the poison, you're gonna have to transmutate the poison to give it a different effect for your brain to get what you need, so you can be able to commune with the dead. Like, just like the science and the science fiction aspect of that and breaking it down like that, it gives more volumes to kind of what Paul had to go through, or his sister technically had to go through.
And how they discovered it. I thought that was a neat little. I don't remember that from anything I've read. So like just how they discovered it. Oh, she was poisoned and she fought against it and she discovered this ability. Like I love things like that because I feel like that feels like no, we should just bring up this power out of nowhere. It came organically out of a situation because we can imagine somebody in this world, I mean this galaxy, being poisoned for whatever reason.
Yeah, like the milk of the poppy is this here, it's this death.
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Shout out to Chloe Leah. But dog, man, Travis Fimmel as Desmond. He's out there cooking, man. Like
literally.
Yeah, he is literally cooking this. He's cooking, folks. And it's weird because Raised by Wolves is weird because in Raised by Wolves show, he actually had like an ability there too. So weird. But
it seems like he just got a transport. He like, my show got canceled, I'm gonna come over to this show. and they were like, yeah, they were like, let him cook. And he was like, yeah, you should let me cook.
But he's ruthless without being, mustache twirly, if you will. He's just like, I'm about this life. You're in my way. I can help you. What you want to do? And the whole, even when he was, strung up, if you will, in Zero Gravity, he's just waiting, just like. And I can only imagine how long he's been waiting to confront a sister of the Sisterhood, a la Bene Gesserit, and just trying to make her, waiting for her to like blink from her using her powers and be like, fully going, you did not see that coming, just like, messed up, but like, whew.
So we know there's like mental resistance among the houses, but like I don't remember, for understanding in the books, you really couldn't make somebody kill themselves. It wasn't like that kind of like mind control power to do that. So I wonder how some of the fans are going to take that ability, but then they instantly like nixed it for usefulness in this plot. So
well, they did it in the films already. So it's just like, if they weren't with it, they were not going to be with it at all. With, Rebecca Ferguson telling those Harkonnens, in their ships, throw yourself, kill him. And, it's by now, if you're not into it, then it's like it's not the adaptation.
She told him to kill the other one, but not kill himself, right? From the movie.
I believe she told
one of them. He told him to jump out of the plane or something like that, not to directly kill himself. But he still
okay.
He
I might be misremembering that. So maybe it was in that thing.
But then again, but that's a good point, because the books are one thing, and it's this another adaptation of like, all right, how do we work with the circumstances of like drama, and yet trying to play I love it when they do this, a chess move, but in the shadows, not in broad daylight, in the shadows. There's no armies, there's no battles being set up. It's just two people in a room saying, "You're shady," and I'm like, "Touche," and it's
well, even how he played the king, the emperor, he was like, "Yeah, you told me to do it." Whoa,
right.
I didn't tell you to do it. Yeah, we had the conversation.
And the wife leaning into Empress Natalia, it's like, what the hell's going on?
He seduced her without even being in the room. She was like, he did what? He can do this? I mean, I ain't like that ninja no way. Like, he maybe kind of did us a favor.
The political intrigue of this show, and it's done well. Even when we knew the sister was like, "Oh, I can't remember that little brat."
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Take a hit. Like, I was just like, this dude, Constantine. We found a lot about him in this episode too. About like his stupidity for one, but also what him and his sister went through. Like that story that she told to Atreides, that somebody like literally broke into the house and took them, and they kept it hush hush to try to not sound weak. And it's just like he didn't even say anything. He went along with her. Like it's interesting to add that extra layer of how much he really loves and cares about her. But he's also a bastard, though, right? His mother is different than her mother. Is that because somebody described him as a bastard?
I think they called him a stupid bastard, but I don't know if he was actually a bastard.
Yeah,
I don't know. I could have missed it. So
I'm curious.
I think they were calling him a stupid bastard because he gave up some secrets. Imagine pimping your daughter to gain. See, that's a level of spycraft among houses that you gotta be trained for.
And this is the compliment I can give it. It reminds me of how fresh and slick House of the Dragon season 1 was. With those very first few episodes of like, okay, who's the heir? Which house is dicking me around? It's just like, no, already with this, it's just like, wait, are the people in love? Or is this just a chess move? Or is it both? Which is probably worse than either one of those.
So we knew about political marriages. That's been a lot of different shows. But in history, I want to say Genghis Khan or one of his sons used to he had a bunch of daughters. He would send out to other houses to like marry princes or get information and maybe just kill them if they was like, so stuff is real. It's if you either win or you die, as Cersei said, you win or you die.
It's just weird because even going down to I think it's Kiernan Atreides. Like I was like first episode, oh, he's just an innocent guy. Like he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a dot to his name. He's just trying to be a good swordsman. He's like basically, I'm gonna do what's right, for XYZ.
For the people.
I'm like, what's this ninja doing in the cubbyhole? Like what? And I was like, he's getting schematics of the house. I was like, is he a traitor? Sure enough, this ninja is working with somebody trying to betray the house. But all along, the Bene Gesserit are playing that too.
Yeah, and then
they're playing in the house and outside.
Did he just get a Scottish accent somewhere out of nowhere? Like that was...
he definitely code switched on something. It was weird. It was,
but it also hints back to what the voiceover says in the beginning. The Atreides said something, wrote this down in history, and she said it's BS. This is what happened with my house and whatnot, and like saying about how in history stuff is written, but it's not all the way true until years later when it's discovered. Well, wait a minute, this battle didn't go down this way, or this king or conqueror wasn't that way, and it just.
Hey, we're gonna put somebody here to start a revolution to keep the power balance because we the king's weakness is great for us. Oh no, we can't have the weak king weak now because we need to keep the wolves at bay. We're gonna bolster him up some, give him some confidence. Oh hey, by the way, start this little religion or Arrakis in case we ever need this religion in Arrakis. All right, I love how they're in everything, and even they're gonna have their. I imagine that this girl's death is gonna put a rift in the sisters. So I love all these different sides that are going on. I love it. It's great. Yeah. Are y'all rooting for anybody?
I don't know who to root for. I'm just sitting back and being like, what's the score? Okay, let's see. All right, where are we at?
Right. There's no real protagonist, right? There's no real, and everybody's the antagonist and everybody's the protagonist. It's
these two episodes, after scene, a new element is being brought into it. And you're like, ooh, I want to know where that's coming from. Like, for example, the Empress. The whole time she was like, the hell with technology. And now she's like, ooh, what can you do?
Right.
Let's keep you let's put you in the bench right now. Put you in the bench till we get to the fourth quarter, and let's bring you in for the fourth quarter and see what happened.
Oh. He walked up on that dad and was like, you're the one. And then he started begging for mercy. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to forgive you for losing a kid. I'm going to forget all this stuff. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I think that the two people that I was hoping to maybe like want to see things through would be in the Emperor and Mark Strong's character and Lila. Lila's dead. And my man, the Emperor, then drank that Kool-Aid. Like he in too deep now. Like they've honestly brought in a gangster. Like for real. Like this man is one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I'll do a dime real quick. You mean kill somebody on the inside while I'm in it? I'll be back.
I'm a soldier. I follow orders in and
Un-
out. And what was good, I was thinking during this thing, I was like, you don't really see is it Mark Strong? Is that the actor's name? Mark.
Yeah,
the Emperor, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really see him play like a weak character. You don't really see that.
right.
And I was thinking like this is a new thing for him. That did
Yeah.
not last long.
Nope.
I mean, he's realistic.
He's still
but
being
still weak.
used.
He's
Yeah.
being reasonable.
But he's now he's got a little more swagger and stuff. He's like, yeah, you talked to me kind of wild the other day, and I let it slide because your kid's funeral and all, but
It reminded me of that scene from The Untouchables, if you've seen the movie, where Ellie Ness goes to Sean Connery's character and he's like, how do we get Capone? He's like, you want to know how to get Capone? Okay. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's how you get Capone. And it's just like, how badly do you want to be in charge? And it's just like, again, that's what I love about these characters. When like, you can't be, if you want to be in power, you're not going to be 100% good or 100% bad. You're going to be in the gray, and the longer you are there, the more it's gonna sit on you, and it's up to you whether you want to tap out or go in all the way.
there's a great Twilight Zone episode, the old black and white one, where this guy, this dictator takes over another dictator, and the old was like, no, you're gonna become me, because the fear of losing power, it corrupts you once you have it, because everybody wants what you have, and so I like that. But again, I don't need anybody to root for. You know what I mean? This is like a history book, really.
I'm intrigued. Yes.
Yeah,
it's like watching a messed up documentary.
yeah. I'm watching Troy, like with the real story, or I'll explain to somebody else how in 300 the Greeks weren't really the good guys in history. Like if you look at the historical, nobody was a good guy. They were just armies fighting in a way. So who won had a better story, and that's what we're seeing here. Who's in power gets to tell the story of how these events unfolded, who were the heroes, who were the cowards, who, and so we're just seeing, and whoever wins this round, the new players get set up, the new houses come up, the new mythos gets formed, and they go forward from there. So I love this.
Yeah, nah, as far as the second episode, they added layers to every single character, even down to like the girl that was a Freeman. I'm assuming she's working with them. She's working.
Oh, the bartender. Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know where this is gonna go now. Because initially I was like, oh wow, they're cooked. They're in a situation, but now Desmond is out. He kicked the Mother Supreme out. Said, yeah, nah. You can't control me. Like it was such a great standoff because she literally walked out. She's like, yeah, this dude got some other stuff going on, and I need to get out of here for a second.
I'll say this, and I think Princess Ines, the princess of the house Corino, the one that was gonna be wed to the kid, and now is pissed and whatnot of what happened to the sister that got fried. I'm intrigued to see her because you see so much sympathy, but there's rage and fire in her, and it's just like she's loyal, but don't f with her because you f with her, and like even that moment with the Atreides where I like that was just for when I knew I was gonna leave to go to school, and that was nice, but like we can't do this. Like it's just not gonna help post murder.
There's so much we don't know who kidnapped her and her brother. We don't know how that affected her.
Right.
How, like Sam brought up last episode when she talked to the kid Wild for the heresy he was doing with the robot toy. Like we know there's a darkness in there, and like you just said, you can't want power, even if power doesn't protect yourself. You can't want power without becoming corrupted by that power at some point. You can't have that much. You can't play this game without being touched by it. I think that's one of the. It'd be a shame if they lose that element of this world. Think about I also like that they talked about the genetic modifications in the last episode because I always wondered, you got thinking computers, human computers, and all these prophecy things, and doing this wild. So I like that they're showing us how they gradually change their DNA or they're change their biology to do all these feats. I think that's really, really cool.
I think it's just interesting more than anything to me because Desmond is a unknowable character, he had
He's a
said
wild
something.
card.
He said something in this episode when he was it was exposition, but he was talking. It was a really good scene with him and Mark Strong, and he was basically talking about how, he lost his eye, and when he lost his eye, he gained something else. He had gained this ability, this power, and
Like,
I mean, right. And it's kind of like, did he really get swallowed by a sandworm, lose his eye, get something replaced back, and became like a force of nature? Because even I forget what she asked him. She asked him, "Are you a prophet?" And he never answered her. He never said anything. He just is like, "I'm here to serve." And so it's the understanding that we don't know what he's capable of inside of a world that's already been pre-built in Dune, which is crazy. Like, you guys have more knowledge than I do, but I don't know. You guys haven't really described anything close to what he's doing in this, from what y'all are saying. Unless
no, it's interesting they call him a reverend. I'm saying the word wrong, but revenant.
Revenant.
And so maybe he's almost like he was the antichrist of what they were trying to become, and maybe this is what leads to them creating their own version of what they were trying to make Paul, or I guess if Paul was supposed to be a woman, and Paul's kid after that.
Yeah.
So it's intriguing because we don't know what we don't know what his goal is. We know he's probably playing the royal house too, and he has an end game. And can he see? Is he doing the calculations that he can see all that? Yeah, I knew you were gonna arrest me. I knew you were gonna play me up. I knew I'd come down. I knew I'd face this guy. Like, and I love that he was like, when he was like, I always wondered what you fear, and that's some real stuff. Because if you're walking around thinking you can get anybody to kill themselves with your voice, you're gonna be pretty cocky. You feel pretty safe.
Right.
If you can hear me, I can kill you. I don't think she's felt that vulnerable in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were already desperate enough to sacrifice that girl to get answers. So
her sister is gonna be pissed because she's gonna blame
her for
she's gonna blame her
of,
for that shiggity.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like she ousted them in the same process, because they're gonna be like sideline looking at them like, yo, what are y'all about? What did y'all do? What was the last thing she said? So this is a great episode. What are our closing thoughts and rating on this one?
Badass, awesome, intelligent, intriguing, well performed, acted, and it is layered without it being too complicated. Like, it's just enough to be like make you thinking and engage. It's one of those shows that, like, you can't play in the background. You just can't. Like, I love the, again, we go back to it, but the shots, how they try to form a circle, an eye into a worm, the cells, and I'm right now in my mind, I'm like, all right, first episode's in, strong start, stick the landing, and people are gonna be raving about this for the rest of the year, and until there's a physical release for this show. And yeah, I give it an A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. I give it an A. I feel like we are entering another golden age of television with some of the things we've seen recently. And like, you couldn't make this show the way we're seeing it now, like 20 years ago. You couldn't have done this. So
Right.
I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying this ride. I'm enjoying the intrigue. I'm enjoying not knowing what's going to happen. And
Yeah,
it's really hard to care about a prequel because you know the end goal. And they're doing a really good job of making me care about this timeline of this people going forward. Like we know how it all ends up, but I'm intrigued with the journey to get to the next step.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. This was an A. And I think going back to it, like, I think the first episode was an A+ for me when I think back to it. The fact is, like, outside of Mark Strong, and I mean, of course, the two sisters that are Harkonnens, I mean, they're notable, but they're not like, big names. They still are knocking it out the park.
Everybody.
No cast with, no preconceived notions about anything outside of what we already know present day, the universe. And it's at the same time, they're adding new things to make it feel digestible. I guess the best way I kind of put that. And even there was a scene in this, like there was a sex scene, and I was like, man, what the heck is this, bro? Like this is not Game of Thrones. Like, why is there a sex scene in this? But they found a way of using that to make sure you understand the levels of dissension and betrayal and like how deep the rabbit hole could really go very quickly.
And Sam, like you said sexy and all that, but like technically in Dune Part 2, there was a sex scene. We just didn't see it. Like what's his name?
yeah.
Austin Butler's character, when Lea Seydoux seduces him and just like, I'm pregnant, we're good, team. Like we're on track.
Got the seed. I also think I control him. He'll be all right.
And like and also I want to shout out the two actresses who played the two sisters that were friends to Lila, that ended up praying for her at the very end. How one was showing her what she believes in and what she believes, and the other one was very pessimistic of like, we're just pawns. Are you kidding me? What are you doing? Don't trust these folks. Like, and Lila going back, like, they're my family, they're what I believe in, and then like, I'll do whatever it takes for them. And yeah, just as the weeks go by and we learn more of these characters' name by memory, and the actors perform them, they're gonna be highlighted more. But just yeah, Dune Prophecy, keep this up, please keep it going.
There's no fat on this show. Every scene I've enjoyed. Every scene has been necessary. I've not been bored. Kind of like what I said about the Penguin. Like every scene is. When you switch characters, I'm still intrigued. I'm still in it. I don't go like, oh, now they're going to this storyline. No. I'm here for every storyline, and how. And I trust that they're going to bring it to a satisfying climax, if that makes sense. All these different threads. I'm trusting that. One question: I wasn't watching the screen. Did he breathe on the Duke to make him start burning? Did he look at him? What happened?
All he did was look at him,
and this,
and eventually, well, I think he did this to stop it, because he basically looked at the Emperor, and the Emperor said, when he was pleading for mercy, and then he did this, and he strained for a second, and then he stopped. His blood started boiling, which is crazy. So dude, and again, it's this eye. He kept describing this eye, and I was like, did this actually happen anatomically? Like, he get a replacement eye, and from who, and for what reason? And anyway, yeah. So show's great. We're gonna go, guys, until next episode 3. We're gonna go. Ant, where can everybody find your content?
Well, I'm gonna be looking for a sandworm so I can get this burning power. Do I gotta get in the mouth to get pooped out? Is that what happens? We must do research.
Oh my god. There's Ant. Ronan, where can everybody find your content?
You can find me trying to seduce the different houses princesses. No. You can
somebody has to do it, Ronan.
You can find me. You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on all the socials. Besides this show, there's gonna be a lot of other shows covering at the end of this year. It's almost the end of the year, so stay tuned, and a lot of iron in the fire.
Yeah, you guys, this show is amazing. We'll be back, and if you guys haven't checked out our first episode review, go and check that out, and also check out our non-spoiler review just to give a little breakdown on what we think of the season so far. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace, everybody. Have a good night.